else? Let's see. All right, we're live. Hey guys, we're live on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to the Joy Villa Show. I have a special guest, Joe Adcox of Bulldog Essential Fitness. So we're going live. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about fitness, and we're going to do a live Q&A, questions that you might have. And then what we're going to do is, at first, I want to introduce you to Joe because he is a fitness fanatic and he's got the credentials to prove it. So, I launched Joy Villa Fitness. He's Bulldog Essential Fitness. And we want to tackle your problems, your issues, your needs, and be able to help you. So also, what we got here, Joe just left the station. Joe, come back.
I have a hard time sitting still.
Joe doesn't sit still. He's like committed to movement. But so we did a live before and it was glitchy. So if you could just tell people your background again, if you don't mind.
Okay, just keep that question in mind right there. It's
definitely. Yeah.
So again, real quick. So I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, and then at an early age, I got moved up to Northwest Georgia, where I got this lovely accent from, which I've coined the phrase of redneck charisma. At the age of 20, I joined the Marine Corps in 1999, and I did 21 years mainly as a drill instructor and a fitness instructor, and I was an infantryman. So keeping my body in shape, not only was I an athlete, but it just kind of continued on. And then once I retired about 4 years ago, that just made it where I just do fitness all the time. So I love it. And literally, that's all I do. It's a lifestyle,
that's all I
do.
Yeah. I love that.
And then we seen a question real quick about hamstrings, stretching hamstrings.
Right. So what we're going to do, I did want to ask you a little more about, because you said that you did boot camp and you also taught, you were a drill sergeant.
Yes.
So the fitness that you need in the military, which thank you so much for your service, because my Joy Tribe love military. I come from a military family.
What's going on, Josh? Good to see you, brother.
We love our military. We support Joe, Army Infantry, Grunt Life. Okay, Phil, you did the Army. Thank you for your service.
There you go. That's that Grunt Life, my friend.
That Grunt Life.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how fitness played into being in the Marines and how that helped you in your career?
So it's funny because with the Marine Corps, like, we're quintessentially known as like being the best in shape, right? Mm-hmm. Which is not always necessarily true. However, I have seen the other services and gone to some of the schools, leadership schools of the other services, especially like the Air Force. Mm-hmm. Air Force, in my opinion, from what I've seen, extremely smart, right? Mm-hmm. But we kind of worked with each other because they helped me academically and then I helped them physically. So it's a good thing. It all depends on the culture of the service, you know. Mm-hmm.
And we got some comments. Someone said that their aunt was in the Army was hardcore, Joe. We got, yes, thank you for your service. My dad was in the Air Force. Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. Great. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Thank you for your service. See, my fans we love the Marines. Joy Tribe loves the Marines, and we're so honored to have Joe here. See, okay, JCL says he's from Georgia, but he lives in Savannah. I live in Savannah.
So I kind of lost my accent a little bit when I first joined the Marine Corps, and I was up in North Carolina for a while. Lived in Florida, stationed in Hawaii, places like that. But then I just came into my own. It was like, it's a very unique trait that you don't hear or see very often. So I decided that I'm not going to run from it.
Yeah.
Just keep my accent and just, I am who I am. So that's just the way it is.
That's right. I love it. Thank you for your service,
Thank you.
Sir.
Appreciate that.
Proud Patriot. That's right. Awesome. So going into, we're going to do the Q&A portion. And at the end, I have another special surprise for you guys. So we have some questions because we want to talk about, too, is helping your health and fitness. And we got a lot of love here on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good. I love it. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe while we wait for some specific questions.
What's the best way to stretch my hamstrings? Queen, I can't touch my toes, but I'm skinny AF. My muscles are just super tight. Okay, so we're going to go from both of our perspectives. I think would be great. What do you think? Because I'm a certified master yoga instructor, did personal training for 10 years. Health and fitness is a part of my life, toured 39 countries. So I come from that artist perspective where I've always done health and fitness. Recently launched my online fitness business, Joy Villa Fitness. So you've got the masculine and the feminine here and different skill sets. So there's going to be different ways to help. But Joe, do you want to take that first question? How would you stretch a tight hamstring?
So
you're good at stretching too, stretching people out, working with people who have issues, right? Corrective medicine or corrective exercise specialist.
Yeah. So the big thing is when it comes to just like with working out and everything else, it's got to be consistent, right? So the best time to stretch is whenever you've done all your contractions after your workout. Okay. There's a big misconception. Let me go in the gym. Let me stretch first. Picture this. Picture this. Spaghetti noodles, right? Before you cook them, what are they? They're hard and they break.
Hard
right?
and crunchy. Yeah.
That is cold muscles. Okay. So you have to get them moving first so then they're pliable, just like cooked spaghetti is.
Yeah.
Right? So the way you do that is you do dynamic warm-ups first, or you do your steady state cardio 5 to 10 minutes. Get everything moving. Okay?
Yeah.
Then you contract during your workouts, and then after that, that's when you stretch. Okay.
That's right.
And you have to stretch consistently every time that you contract. If you don't, they're going to cinch back up and you're going to be just as tight as you were. So I
that's right.
That's from my perspective. Let's see what Joy has to say.
Absolutely. Hold on just a second. We got some outside noise. Can you guys keep it down? We're live here.
All right. So we got the heart of the season. Hopefully that helps you out with your question a little bit because
we got some loud outside neighbors. And just kids actually. You guys know Jeremy, my fiance, and my cousin Randy are in the house, and they are the naughty kids. I tell you guys, don't bring them up on there. Sorry, Joe.
So what do you think? Because
I love what you said. Yes, so yoga, I would say, first of all, yoga is incredible for stretch. It's literally stretching. One of the things we do I like to do a lunge. It's going to be a little bit hard because we have a close. Look at this. We're doing a lunge stretch here. You can actually literally put your leg up on any couch, anything here, and just inhale. And exhale, bend forward.
And see, the key is what she's doing is she's not just rounding her back at the top.
That's right.
She's keeping straight from the hips to the shoulder and raising like.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, we can see it over there on Facebook. Yeah. Well, let's get this.
So you got to have a straight back right here.
That's right.
Okay, and then you bend from the hips.
It's not this.
Yeah, you don't bend from the back. You bend from the hips.
That's right.
And that's where you're going to get that good stretch from.
Perfect.
But consistency is the key. You got to have consistency.
It is. If you do stretches like that, also, basically stretching it out with breath as well. I would say consistency is key. And inhale. Exhale
as you stretch, always,
because that breath is going to propel movement. It's going to help you relax into the stretch. And I say, I'd like to know what Joe thinks, but I say hold the stretches for 20 to 30 seconds.
All right. So that's very good as a starter. But again, as we age, right, the older you get, about every 10 years, you need to up that at least 10 or 15 seconds up until you get to about a minute.
Okay.
Per stretch. And then you're looking at about in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, you need to be about a minute per stretch.
Holding the stretch for a minute.
Because it takes you longer to get to that pliable state so that way you can stretch because
I love
you're
that.
naturally tighter.
Yeah.
Your skin's thinner, all that stuff. So,
I love that. So hold it. So you said every 10 years of 15 seconds, you add 15 seconds?
Yeah. So usually for your younger athletes, like high school, middle school, stuff like that, 20, maybe 30 seconds per stretch, they're fine. As they get older, now most of the time for my clients that I train in person that are 60 plus, 45 seconds to a minute per stretch. It just gives us more time for our body to get used to that, that stretch, that movement.
Perfect. Well, we got some comments. Thank you, King, says heart of the season. Awesome. Thank you, Queen. Look at that. Yeah, kings and queens. That's what I call my clients too.
Thanks, Tonto. I see you up there.
Awesome. And all right, we got some comments on YouTube too. Awesome tips, says Udanya. Thank you, Danya. You guys were open for Q&A. Has Joe met Jeremy yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Funny guy. Extremely funny. I guess that's partly why he does that for income there.
Exactly. Being a comedian.
And then Danny DeVito said,
okay. So
gun show?
Wait, Joe, let me tell you this. Danny DeVito is one of my clients, one of my fans, and he always wants a gun show. He's on every live. He's very consistent. So we're going to have to give him the gun show. Here we go, Danny. Danny, this is for you, which just means, boom.
There's one, and there's another one.
Oh, look at that. Stacked on top.
Damn.
Come on. This is not even fair. Stop it, Joe. Making me look weak. I love it.
That's all right. I'm sure you squat. You might squat more than me.
It's true. It's maybe. When I grow up, I want to be like Joe.
Let's see what Tammy's got. It looks like she got a serious question there.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to Tammy.
Ringgold, Georgia.
There we go. Perfect.
Little town, northwest, about 15 minutes south of Chattanooga.
Nice.
I think they got one red light. They might have two.
Chattanooga. Don't you just love it? Don't you just love it, Joy Tribe? All right, Tammy. I have done chemo and it's been almost 1.5 years, and the chemo softens my muscles and they hurt. What's the best way to get my muscles hardened again? Wow, that's a very good question.
So it really depends on the length of the chemo, how long, how long you had to do the chemo, the severity or the aggressiveness of the chemo that you had. Because the more intense it was, or depending on what stage of cancer you're in, the recovery is going to be obviously longer, right?
Yeah.
But the hardening of the muscles is still just like any other basic science. It's nutrition. It's getting that protein in there every single time. Because the protein and the BCAAs that are in the protein, they get released, those branched chain amino acids. That's what recovers the muscles and makes them hard. Now, if you're having a hard time working out and getting that hardness, just go down and wait and you focus on the reps. It doesn't matter if you got a piece of toilet paper in each hand. All right. If you're curling and you're squeezing whatever it is you're working and controlling that movement, you don't even have to have any weights. That's the best part about it. So you have to feel the muscle and you have to engorge it with blood. That's the only way around it. That's it.
Yeah. Beautiful answer. Tammy said she's been 4 months chemo, 4 once a month, 4 times.
Yeah, that's pretty extensive, pretty aggressive. Just make sure you take your doctor's advice and always come back slow at a reasonable pace, but not too aggressive.
Excellent.
I can tell you with a medical record this thick of injuries that I've had in the past.
Oh yeah.
Each one's a little bit different, and especially Marines or any Marines that I know, like we want to get back on it real quick, right? But you got to be patient and understand the long-term game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Joe,
long-term game.
Joe has a lot of knowledge in this. And I would add too, look at your nutrition on top of the branched chain amino acids, which you can take. But also, are you eating enough protein to sustain? Because chemo is also going to deplete you of a lot of vitamins and minerals, calcium and magnesium. And again, ask your doctor, hey, I'm thinking of taking these supplements or this is happening. But magnesium can help a lot with muscle soreness because you have muscle aches, and the calcium can make sure your bones are stronger because you're really depleting yourself with this chemo, which it's an unfortunate but necessary evil at this time, right? The chemicals. But what you want to do is basically say, okay, my body's going to be detoxing. It's fighting off this cancer. Let me give it as much nutrient as I can. That's high dense greens, nutrient dense greens. You got your spirulina, your spinach, you could do broccolis, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. What is another good one with those little balls? I can't think of the name. Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I love Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are so good. And then also lots of iron. You can have your red meats. You can also take an iron supplement. Talk to your doctor, but I would say the nutrition could help with the achiness of the muscles. And just like Joe said, get the reps in. If it's too heavy and it's too painful, go down light. Sometimes lifting a freaking soda can 10 times, it gets that movement, get your body used to moving. Really excellent question and excellent answers, I have to say.
Yeah, Tammy, you're welcome. Yeah, and the biggest thing is just don't get discouraged.
Yeah,
lifetime is a lifetime, so you've got plenty of time. Okay.
Yeah.
And don't look at it as like the far game. Look at, okay, how am I going to make myself better this week? How am I going to make myself better for the month? Right.
Yep.
Said it caused I have nerve damage my feet.
Yeah. And Tammy, I'm going to get a hold of you too, because I have a few nutrition guides that I'd like to give you for free and a free gym guide. And then we'll see what we can do, because you could benefit some expertise from Joe, expertise from me, to see like maybe getting you on a personal plan. So we'll talk, but make sure I'm going to take a screenshot actually, because that's a very specific program. And I think getting on something that helps you even while you're doing chemo could be beneficial and save you a lot of heartache later. Because I hear you. She said she wants to get her beauty. She's angry.
Yeah, because the biggest thing that we preach, especially in person, is like, look, you go see doctors, right? Doctors are going to prescribe things to help you with the symptoms.
Yeah.
not the cause.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like anything with an injury, right? You can put a brace on it, but it's just a Band-Aid. How do we fix that knee? Right.
Yes.
Is it PT in conjunction with somebody that's a trainer, right? That has a little bit more freedom, range of movement. Because a PT is very specific. They can only do what the script is for, and that's it. And that's one thing about being a trainer, and especially when you have
by PT, you mean physical therapist.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. Physical therapist.
There's a lot of terminologies. I always try to make sure, layman's terms.
And
absolutely.
See, and I almost went that route. I almost went the personal
great
training assistant route, but those are the ones that actually do it, right?
They don't prescribe.
Therapy. Yeah. So that's why it kind of gravitated to that. But when
you kind of approach personal training, I feel like, with the physical therapy mindset.
Yeah.
Because of your corrective coaching, your ability to work with seniors. That's one of the things. You have a lot of care, and I've seen him work in person with clients where he's even moving the muscle for them. Also with your online training, you've done a lot of great results. And Rocky Crow, I got to shout her out. She says, so great that you're officially moving into training. You're officially coaching. Always wanted to know her secret. Yes, I've launched Joy Villa Fitness officially, and I just freaking love it. I love helping people online, coaching, mindset, mentality, fitness, nutrition. It's one of the greatest things you can do for someone. And the fact that I can train people from all over the world. Joe's also an online coach. We love helping people. So yes, Rocky, if you want to work with me, email me. If you guys want to work with me or Joe, let us know. Oh, wait, that's not Jeremy. Is he like, good? This is not Jeremy. No, Jeremy's here. This is Joe. She just jumped on. This is Joe Adcox from Bulldog of Essential Fitness, and Marine, an awesome man and a friend of mine. So I asked him to come on. I wanted to find out a little more about his story, and we wanted to help you guys with a nice Q&A.
All right. So while we wait for some more questions, another thing that we commonly run into, and it especially has to do with nutrition. As we age, our appetite starts to go down, right? So I know everybody out there knows either a mom or a dad or aunt or uncle or it could be you. It doesn't really matter, of 60 plus or whatever, when that appetite starts to go down.
Yeah.
And then we don't have energy, and then we can't build muscle. We can't do any of that.
Yeah.
But you can. The problem is you need the proper coaching to say, hey, eat more to lose more, but eat more of the good stuff. Right.
Yes.
And what that does is the good stuff is always churning. All right. I love to do analogies. All right. So your metabolism is like a train. Okay. Your train, if you put all your coal in it at the beginning of the day, it's going to run fast as all get up, and it's going to gradually slow down until it stops at the end of the day. So if you eat big at the beginning of the day and then you taper off towards the end, that's exactly what your energy is going to do. It's going to go down.
That's right.
All right. So if you put rocks in your train to go down the road, it's not even going to move. Rocks are garbage, sugar, fast food, fried food, all that stuff right there. Train's not going anywhere. Well, there's time and place for some of that stuff.
Okay.
But if you take that coal, which in this case is our food, and we are the train, and I put some in to get it going, and I keep it filled the whole time, I can say the same speed the whole trip. That train is your metabolism. Okay. So make your train run constantly with coal or good food, and your metabolism will stay like this, rather than, I just ate and now I'm 4 hours, 5 hours without eating. That makes my metabolism go down tremendously,
right?
Which makes me store fat. Okay?
Right. And if you're eating coal, like that junk food, like, do you have a lot of energy? Are you able to move? Are you able to function in life?
So coal is in this instance,
the good
like
stuff.
Good
Sorry,
food.
if you're eating the rocks.
Rocks, yeah, that's all garbage. Train ain't going nowhere.
Is it literally not moving?
Nope, it's not
Isn't
moving.
that is such a great analogy, because a lot of people, that's exactly what they say too. I know you've worked with clients like that. I've worked with clients who are like, I can barely get out of bed in the morning. Like, I need coffee to survive. I need sugar, my 2 o'clock muffins and cookies and constant coffee. I mean, listen, I love caffeine like everyone, but if you don't have that proper nutrition, that background, and that fitness, you cannot tackle life. He's 1000% correct. All right. We got somebody.
Yeah,
we got another one. Okay. Udana says, well, you go ahead and read it, Joe.
So which one? This one right here?
This one, yeah, I just put it on the screen.
I want to know which is better to train outside like I did with a trainer in the beach, or is it better in the gym? I lost a lot of weight training outdoors, but I would like to do some gym training inside. Ooh. So why don't you do both?
Love it.
Nobody says you can't do both. I love working out outside, especially when it's nice and you got the sun on you. It's releasing, you get the sweat. Next thing you know, you got endorphins flying.
Yeah.
And you're just feeling yourself, right?
Oh, yeah. It's true.
But there's a time and place for in the gym, depending on when there's weather or if you're not feeling the greatest and you need to, do your resistance, lower intensity, things like that. Maybe you're not feeling the greatest, but you need to get something in. But yeah, do all methods.
I agree. I'd say my answer backs up what Joe said. Do what you love. If you like to Zumba, do Zumba. If you like to dance outside in the waves with the air and the sunshine, then do that. Whatever works for your goals. And by the way, if you guys want my free gym guide, I have a ebook that I wrote all about getting started in the gym, and I'm giving it out to anyone who wants it for free. So just send me a message, leave a message down below that says fit, and I will give you that free ebook. And it's all about the gym. It has some basics of nutrition, how to get started in the gym, what exercises, because a lot of people are into outdoor fitness and a lot of people don't know about the gym. And so I made this to help my Joy Tribe. So if you want that, I'll give it to you for free. It's a little link. I'll email it to you.
Boy, she's nice.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
I am. I'm giving out gifts. And so comment fit down below and I'll get you that free gym guide. We already got somebody. So
let me look at this real quick. So on my
here's a comment up there.
Yeah, here's one about type 2 diabetes. So I got one on here.
Oh, good. Hey guys over there on Joe's Facebook.
Yut, and it looks like somebody that I've known from my past. How you doing, Ben? Good to see you, brother. He said, "Hey, I'm in okay shape, but the VA says I'm type 2 diabetic. I don't want to take the meds because of the side effects. What more natural supplements can I take or food?" Here's the best thing about it. If you go to the gym, I've trained diabetics and gotten their A1C down below 80, down to in the 50s. Okay. But they train for a while and they stay consistent in the gym. Clean up your diet and make your gym exercise consistent 3 or so days a week. Okay. And then bump it up to 4. And what you're going to see is you clean up how you eat and you have regular exercise. Your A1C, when you start checking it, it's going to start falling. Boom.
Wow.
Boom. Boom. And as long as you do that and you keep that up, I've had diabetics that come off of insulin just strictly by the way they eat and being consistent in the gym.
Love that.
I've seen
it.
I did it in Jacksonville.
Ooh.
Thank you. Joe. Much love back to you again.
That is a great solution. A lot of people think that their lives are stuck once they get a disease or they gain weight or they get a diagnosis and they think, oh, there's nothing to be done about it. But the truth is, just like Joe said, he's seen miraculous results. Proper diet, proper nutrition, same thing, and proper training. Movement, resistance training. Honestly, if you just start moving and lifting things that are heavy or pushing things that are heavy, like push-ups, you can do calisthenics outside. You can get started with no equipment and no money. You can start on that journey. And if you are ready to take the journey further, let me know, because Joe is an incredibly qualified online coach. I'm an incredibly qualified online coach. If you like one of our personality more than the other, you want us to do something together to help you, let us know. Joe, do you have any ebooks or anything that they can get online?
No, I don't. But what I do is I like to educate a lot regardless. I do a lot of teaching as an instructor background. Sometimes I have to catch myself and be like, all right, let's go to the next set. Because that's how important it is to me. And I kind of look at it as paying it forward a little bit. Like I may need a Joe later on down the road. So, and that's really the way that I look at it, because longevity, quality of life. People look at me and be like, oh, you must be a bodybuilder, right? So I've never competed. And I have a bodybuilder look because that's how I used to train a lot.
You could compete,
but
you could. He wouldn't.
Nobody judged me, but our Lord Savior. Nobody. But anyway, but see, I am multifunctional now, right? Like I can move, I can do all athletic stuff.
We've worked down the gym together, and I've seen Joe do some stuff that I'm like, wow, those ankles are strong. Okay. jump stuff that I'm like, well, I don't know, with all my big booty, I don't know if I could jump that far. And Joe was just like straight up in the air, just a lot of mobility things, which is incredible because that means, I know that mobility and flexibility are what equal sort of your physical age. Like in terms of when you see somebody walking, do they look 30 or do they look 60?
Right.
It's how flexible and how much mobility they have.
Right.
So there can be 65-year-old people that are so flexible. My dad at 73 moved like he was 40.
Yeah.
Like his body was so strong and fit, and he wasn't a big dude, but my dad was in the military too. He was in the army. He passed away, minister. He's a huge influence on me. And his name was also Joe. His name was Joseph. So Joes are always good guys in my book. They're always, but he had that. So what Joe is talking about too, taking care of your mobility, your flexibility is so key. Because just because you look older or your age is older doesn't mean you have to move older.
Right.
I know in my world, we do a lot of skincare, like get rid of wrinkles. Ladies look young. Ladies, I'm talking to you ladies too. And guys get a little bit vain too.
Yeah, a little bit.
We want to look young, but if you move like this, what's the point of looking like you're 30 if you move like you're 95? Like, be fluid. I know a lot of women who are gorgeous. They got wrinkles on their face, but they're fluid. They can dance.
Mr.
Men
Fred McIntyre, you definitely need to regain some mobility. Hey, you can always hit me up on my Facebook at Joe Adcox, or look up Bulldog Essential Fitness, or just send me a message or get through with Joy, because that's my specialty. That's what I do is movement, mobility, and flexibility, no matter what age. I've trained up to 92 years old.
Wow.
Right? So it's not.
My eldest client is 88, and I thought that was old. 92, Joe?
92. Yep. Up there where I was at before.
Joe's got the skills to pay the bills. Okay.
It's a lot of it's in the head too. Okay.
Yeah. Do they? So when you train a 92-year-old, do they think like, I'm old, I can't do that?
Initially, they do. One thing that I always harp on is like, all right, here's our next exercise. We're going to do this. I do not want to hear something negative, or I can't, or I've never done this come out your mouth, because when you do that, you are killing your psyche right off the bat. You just told yourself you can't do it. Right. And you didn't even try. So how many of us tell our kids to be like, you don't even know because you ain't even tried that broccoli yet. You don't know if you like it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, right? Once we clear our psyche.
Sorry, we got some visitors. Yeah. I'm gonna let Joe finish the sentence before these children come in. But
so it's all about positive mindset, right? If you say it, you can do it. Okay. Absolutely. Even if it takes a minute and you have to, kind of work towards it, you can do it. You can absolutely do it.
Come on now. You want that coaching? Let's get at it. You got the king and queen of fitness. Woo! So here's the exciting thing. Somebody said Joe is always good, guys, except for Joe Biden.
I can't claim that one. I'm sorry.
No, we ain't claiming that Joe. He ain't part of it. I'm sure he changed his name somehow. Self-prophecy, positive manifestation. Exactly. So we're going to move into another part of the house, because we're going to continue. If you want to grab, we got a special guest here. You guys ready? We got the peanut gallery because we wanted to. Yeah, everybody's waiting. So this is the surprise, is we're going to be discussing some physical fitness. Oh, it's so much cooler out here too. This looks great. I've never live streamed from this angle like here. Jeremy did the paintings. Come on in, Joe. We're all up on the bed. Someone's going to have to read the questions. So you know what? I'm going to have to read the
grab one of the desks. That's the best view.
Oh, yeah, but we have to see. So let's see. Can you move over a little bit, sweetheart? Okay. So we've got my cousin introducing Randy, one black friend, my cousin, my amazing cousin, Randy. It's so cool. We've got my fiance, Jeremy.
Sup?
We've got me, your girl, Joy Villa. That's right. And then we've got Joe Adcox. Joe. So you got plenty of room there, Joe?
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh, yeah. We've never done this before on the Joy Villa show. So how we're going to do this, guys, is we're going to take questions from you to talk about health and fitness, but we're also going to talk amongst ourselves. So you guys get to be a part of the journey, and then we'll end off in a little bit.
You want me to put a table here?
You can, but I think we need space to be able to see.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Yeah, maybe we'll get
Big
closer. Let's
family.
get a little closer to the screen. So if you guys want to ask questions, jump on my Instagram at JoyVilla because I can actually see you. If you don't want to ask questions, you just want to listen, then listen there. And we have to talk a little loud.
This is
fun.
what your future
Yeah,
looks like.
it looked like JC said, "Hey, you said you had big news." He said, "By the way, what's your big news?"
Oh, this is the big news.
There you go. We're here.
That we're here, that I'm incorporating the whole
Special guest. There's Jeremy. We've been
Cousin
asking about
Randy.
it. There he is.
They were asking, they're like, where's Jeremy? Like, is Jeremy there? Is Jeremy okay? Like, has Joe met Jeremy?
Wow.
Yeah, someone said, that's not Jeremy. He's like a different version. So you guys are both wearing sunglasses? Is that what's happening? Gen
We're
X?
keeping Gen X. We're letting people know about Gen X. We're
So
always
crazy.
down to party and rock.
Yeah.
and roll.
My God.
That's my genre as well.
Oh my gosh, are you guys all Gen X?
Oh yeah, we all
millennial.
like
I'm
dark
45.
music.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. I never would have thought you were, but cool.
There you go. I'll take
How old
that.
are you again, Randy?
As long as you look 10
Old
years
enough.
younger than you actually are, then you've met your intent.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, okay.
So we went talking about health and fitness is kind of the theme. So to the panel, do you guys have any health and fitness like questions?
Me?
Yeah.
Us?
That we can discuss.
Wait for Jeremy to throw some tidbits in there.
Yeah, Jeremy's got some MMA, but let's do a question, then we can all kind of answer it from our perspective. Even though you're not a health and fitness professional, but you're into your health and fitness.
Yeah, I need to be healthier, and I could definitely be fitter.
And I need to be fitness.
But
I have a question.
Jeremy-
I have a question. When I start to lose weight, will my head lose weight?
Oh, that's a good
Oh
question.
hell yeah!
So that is a good
I mean,
question.
I know my skull won't get
Somebody else out there has thought that same.
Yeah,
thing.
because I have
Yeah.
glasses, and they're just like, yeah.
No,
I just
what-
wonder.
What happens is that once you start to lose weight, once you get about 15 into 20 pounds in, that's when your face you start to notice it in your
slender.
face, notice it in the cheeks and stuff.
I gotta say,
That's
cousin Randy's got one of the buffest heads I've seen. She is into fitness.
I
Muscular.
can bitch at least
We are-
1,000.
In high school, we all called her Jughead.
That's terrible.
But her head's not going to shrink. We'll just get a little bit of the cheeks that
hope
go
not.
down.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Cheeks
good
in the
question.
mouth? You said
Well,
cheeks in the mouth?
It's hereditary
My cheeks are not
where
mouth.
you
My lips look so
lose
big.
fitness
I
first.
can't lose. Okay.
Like it's hereditary.
I don't
where
want
you
my
lose
lips to
fitness.
shrivel.
But so here's the thing, like what Joe said, once you start, what do you say, 10, 15 pounds? You start
Yeah.
seeing your face?
Yeah, well, 15 into 20 is when you start to
15,
see
20,
it.
yes.
And, my chin,
And
my
also, you know,
jawline.
as you lose fat in your face, your lips are going to look bigger.
Ooh,
Your nose will also look a little
nice.
bigger.
I don't
It
mind.
changes the shape of the face.
Yeah.
And some people don't
I
like
love
their
my
face to be
nose
lean.
and I love my lips, so bring it on.
Oh, you have to
I'll
jump
be
out?
right- I'll be right here.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that's something I
yeah,
look forward to.
fitness.
I'll be able to fit glasses better is really my main concern.
My favorite way to do fitness was with martial arts or lots of pull-ups, lots of burpees and push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
lots of resistance training.
Lot
Like
of-
my body, I'm an ectomorph, so I'm clearly built for speed instead of power.
Mhm.
That's my thing.
And digging holes, like
Digging
for
holes.
moles.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
built for speed and and
Retrieving.
yeah,
Exactly.
and cardio.
Right. Well, this has been awesome, guys. I think we're going to jump off. Oh, I see CV says, my weight loss has been an absolute struggle. I have hyperthyroidism,
Hyperthyroidism.
and weight loss is a battle. Joe, you want to take this one?
Dietary.
Yeah, it's gonna be dietary. You're gonna need to go see your doctor. You're gonna have to go get your blood work done in order for them to stabilize your thyroid. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a constant battle because it's part of your endocrine system.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you start messing with hormones and you don't know what you're doing, your body's doing all kinds of cattywampus. So, like
Isn't
Jeremy said, that's gonna
hypothyroid like an autoimmune.
be. So you
type
have
thing?
hypo and you have hyper. Right?
So-
Hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism.
Maybe like a carnivore or modified carnivore diet would probably be good. Staying away from like grains and lots of sugars and things like that. Even lots of fruits might trigger it. So like you'd want to just be eating like vegetables and meat and eggs. And if you're doing dairy, you want to do raw dairy. You don't want pasteurized. you don't want anything processed. Stay away from vegetable oils, seed oils, trans fats, any ingredient that you don't know what it is. If it sounds like it was created in a lab, it was, and it's gonna mess your thyroid up.
Amen. And I would say on that too is you could be allergic to some things too that are triggering it.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy was saying, piggyback on that, it could also be dairy. It's a huge trigger for a lot of people to have issues. It could be nuts. Actually, it could be allergic. It could be allergies on
seeds.
top of hyperthyroidism. And also, you got to get your blood work done. Exactly what Joe said.
Yep.
This is a medical condition you have. And then working with a trainer who knows that, as Joe and I do, what to do, how to lose the weight despite,
I had an epiphany because thyroidism, I think, is linked to like Hashimoto's and stuff like that. So there's books that you can read on Hashimoto's disease, which I think I'm pretty sure is a thyroid condition. So I would look into Hashimoto's. There's like diets specifically geared towards Hashimoto's and things with thyroid as well.
You want to say something?
Confucius say.
Thanks, Randy.
And here's the main thing you got to remember about any type of condition that you have, right? Either seek the counsel of somebody that knows more than you, or do your own research, because I guarantee you 9 out of 10 things, there is natural remedies to at least make a little bit better, because the pharmaceutical companies, they're not on your team.
They are not on our team.
They're not on your team.
No.
Speaking of
That's right.
pharmaceuticals, I have a question about sugar.
There we go. We got a question.
Do our bodies need sugar?
Glucose.
Glucose.
Yes.
We need glucose. Yeah.
But that's more raw sugar, not processed, not all
Agave,
honey.
Yeah, honey is one of the best sugar additives that you can use. Get that natural raw honey. And that's going to get your sweetness in there. And you can mix things with it to take the honey taste out of it and still keep the sweetness. In case you don't like honey.
Okay.
But sugar's what's killing us. Sugar's what's killing us out there. The processed foods and carbohydrates that are fast foods and everywhere else, that's what's killing us out there.
You
You don't believe it? Look at you when you were a kid, especially if you're 40s and above, and look at how kids are today.
Bloated.
I seen the other day, that they were having a kids, had something to do with metabolism or something. It's just like, wait a minute, why are these kids at this young age having to do this already? Like, this is for people that would normally be elderly at this point, having to go through and do these things. Why? Because the obese epidemic starts with the kids, and we just give them nuggets, we give them fries.
That's right.
Something to get, and the next thing you know, they grow up. And unfortunately, just a real quick thing, I had 3 of my high school friends that I played sports with this past year all passed away. All about the same age as me. And the biggest reason was obesity. They were linemen, right? And just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it ended up killing them. So,
and another thing to consider with all this is it's going to get worse.
Yep.
The food is getting worse every year.
Yep.
The FDA's regulations are getting worse every year. You know, most of the ingredients that are put into America's foods are regulated and illegal in other countries. They're banned in other countries. And companies like, Doritos are making Doritos for Americans and adding all these additives and preservatives and all this. But the stuff that the Canadians and the Europeans are getting doesn't have this stuff. So,
absolutely.
Because the FDA and Big Pharma are in cahoots together, because Big Pharma has shares, or the food has shares in Big Pharma. So when their food gets you sick, they go to the hospital. The hospital makes money, and they make money off the back of the hospitals because they're shareholders. It's one big circle jerk. And until Americans wake up and they're like, it's just a pack of Doritos, or it's just a soda right now. No, it's not. It used to just be that. It used to just be sugar. Now they're putting legitimate poisons in your food, because they want you to have autoimmune diseases, cancers, Alzheimer's, all this stuff. Why? Because Big Pharma is going to make a ton of money off the medication.
Nobody gets paid to get you well. They get paid to keep you sick, unfortunately. And exactly what he was saying, and that those additives, those dyes, those are literally addicting. And back on the sugar thing, I believe as a nutritionist that there is no sugar that's good for the body. Fruit is good. Glucose we do need, but we don't have to have it in such huge amounts.
Yeah, but too
the
much
human body was not designed to have this much sugar. So even if you're eating 6 bananas and tons of apples, and because I know
Like
somebody
how I used to
you
eat.
used to eat when I met Jeremy, he was eating a ton of sugar, and I said
Ton of fruit.
but it was a
It's
ton
only
of
fruit.
hold on, it was a ton of sugar,
Yeah,
but it was fruit.
yeah.
And it was healthy fruit, like organic.
Yep.
Jeremy's been very good with his health and nutrition. But I would notice every snack would be grapes, and it would be 3 or 4 apples, and it would be a couple bananas.
Oh yeah.
And I said, you're eating, and it wasn't balanced because the protein was lower. Even though you ate high protein, you filled every other meal with sugar.
With fruit.
And what that does is going to jack up your blood sugar only to crash. And even like honey is good for you, has nutrients. Apples are good for you. They're much better than a candy bar.
And they're better to be eaten those in the morning.
But you cannot overeat those because your body will still be now hyped up. And if your blood sugar levels go up, they're going to crash. And if you don't have proteins, healthy carbohydrates, healthy fats in your diet, and also everybody runs a little bit different. I run better on high fat, high protein.
Yeah.
Low sugar.
Everybody's got different blood types. There's blood type diets. Also, the best time to be eating fruit and honey is going to be in the morning.
Absolutely.
Just remember this one thing: too much of anything is a bad thing.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't matter what it is. Too much of anything is a bad thing, and you'll be doing all right.
Yeah.
Base all your meals around strong solid protein, all right, and then based on whether you're doing low carb or you're doing low fat or a combination of balance, you sprinkle everything around that, because that's what holds our muscle tissue. That's what keeps us from atrophying.
Yes.
And it keeps us strong. So protein is the key.
Protein is the key. So protein is the key.
Protein is the key. Like I said, carnivore diet.
Well, I mean, maybe you don't have to have
You
a carnivore diet, because a lot of people don't want to. I don't like fad diets. I'm gonna say from my perspective.
Yeah.
Other people like to experiment. What Joe said is true.
Modified
carnivore. It doesn't even have to be modified carnivore. That is it can work, but I also had a lot of protein as a vegan for 20 years. And it just, you have to make sure you maintain the protein, exactly what Joe said. But also, videos choppy, Chase. All right, well, everybody loved it. We're getting, thank you so much. I hope everyone here learned something, awesome advice. Che, good to see you, Chase. Awesome. Let's say goodbye. We're going to end off now.
Bye, Joy Tribe.
Thank you, Joy Tribe, for joining. Special thanks to Joe Adcox.
Thank you.
Bulldog Essential Fitness. BulldogEssentialFitness.com?
Yeah.
BulldogEssentialFitness.com. If you want to sign up with him, he does coaching, nutrition programs. I've got Joy Villa coaching, nutrition programs, and we're going to do some collaborations together.
Yeah. Just look me up on Facebook or Instagram, JOE and then Adcox, ADCOX. And, if you didn't get a chance to get your question answered on here, or you have more, or you want to sit down and have a video consultation, we can talk about you specifically. Either one of us, we do that, and we'd be more than happy to do that. And that's a complimentary thing. We just want to help first, and then if it's something that we can offer, right, to get you on board and as a training client on your journey, then we'll do that. But it's all based on your individual needs.
Exactly. That's right. Thanks. I learned a lot. They
guys.
said, love you all.
Jeremy.
Maga, love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Awesome. Yep. They love it. Bye, guys. Bye, YouTube.